So welcome to day 9 of our 28-day challenge. Start your day with movement. All you need today is a mat, preferably not wearing any shoes, and let's get going. So you're going to start in a standing position. We're going to do our toe stretch in a standing position today. So we're going to start with my outside leg so you guys get a better view. I'm on my left. I'm going to go up onto my tippy toes as much as I can. So making sure that my ankle doesn't roll out to the side. Really focus on feeling that big toe knuckle stretch. Roll over top your toes and almost try to push the front of your ankle forward. And then bring it back onto your tippy toes and drop your heel. So that was 1. We're going to do 6. Go up onto your tippy toes. Roll over. Stretch your toes in a fully pointed position. Roll back and drop the heel. That's 2. Lift. Curl over, back down, and drop the heel. 3. Raise your toes, or raise your heel, roll over the toes, back onto your knuckles, and down. 4, 2 more. Up, roll over, push the front of your ankle forward, back onto the toes, and down. Last one. Up onto those tippy toes, roll over, back onto the tippy toes, and drop the heel. Same thing on your right leg. So you're going to go up onto your tippy toes. Remember, we don't want your ankle rolling out to the side, so really try to stay on that big toe knuckle. Roll over top your toes. Try to push your ankle forwards. Come back onto the tippy toes and drop the heel. So I'm up onto my toes, rolling over my toes, trying to push my ankle forward, back onto the toes, and down. That's 2 of 6. Up onto the toes, roll over, back down, and drop. Up onto the toes, roll over. Really try to stretch that front of foot back over your toes and down. 2 more. Up onto the tippy toes, roll over, come back, and down. Last one. Up onto the tippy toes, roll over. Really push that ankle far forwards as you can, back onto the toes, and drop. Staying on your feet, make sure your feet are parallel with each other. We're going to do some calf raises to kind of work that new toe knuckle strength we just worked on. So keep the feet parallel. If you often have your ankles roll out, quickly go grab a ball and put it between your heels. We're just going to go up as high as we can and back down 10 times. Up onto the tippy toes, back down. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hopefully you're trying to do this without holding on to anything, working on balance. 7, 8, 9, and 10. Beautiful. Staying up on your feet, we're going to roll down, go touch our toes. So you're going to roll 1 vertebrae at a time. Keep those keep those feet parallel. Try to reach for the floor. Go into your deep squat. Try to bring both your hands up towards the ceiling. Take a deep breath in and out. Drop the hands. Bring the bum up and unroll 1 vertebrae at a time. And repeat. Roll the chin. Let yourself collapse and kind of hunch your back as you roll yourself forwards. Really work at rounding your low back in this position. Hold for a deep breath in and out. Drop your bum as low as you can, keeping those heels flat. If this is already a comfortable position for you, you're going to try to bring your arms up into that overhead position. If you are uncomfortable in this deep squat position, just work on hanging out down here and getting comfortable. And bring the arms back down, bum up, and unroll. We're going to do 1 more. Tuck the chin in first, round the back, go reach for those toes, keep the chin tucked in, take a deep breath in, and out. Drop the bum. Remember, if you're comfortable, bring those arms up into that overhead position, keep those heels on the ground. Breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth. Drop the hands, bring your bum up, and unroll. Excellent. This time we're going to do a roll down, but we're going to walk our hands over to the side of our foot and then add a T-spine rotation. So if you can't reach the floor, feel free to bend your knees a little bit to give you an anchor. So you're going to roll your chin down first. Then you're going to walk your hands to the left. Use your right hand to anchor yourself onto your left ankle. And now rotate that left arm towards the ceiling and come back down. That's 1. We're going to do 10. Every time you're trying to rotate a little bit further, make sure you're not holding your breath. That's 3. Think about trying to rotate your chest bone to the ceiling instead of just throwing your arm up. 4. And use that bottom hand to help pull you around. 5. 6. 7. 8. 2 more. Breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth, and 1 more. Bring those hands back to the middle and roll back up. Excellent. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. So you can stay in the same position. So make sure your feet are still parallel with each other. You're going to roll down 1 vertebrae at a time. This time you're going to rock your hands over to the right. So I'm using my left hand to anchor onto my right foot. Then I'm going to use my right arm, rotate up to the ceiling, trying to turn my chest bone as far up as I can, and come back down. That's 1. That's 2. 3. Don't forget to take some nice big deep breaths. If I'm going too fast for you, take your time, go at your own speed. That was 4. 5. 6. Remember, you may have one side that's a little bit tighter than the other. That's okay. 7. 3 more. 8. 9. Last one. And 10. And roll back up. Perfect. We're going to work on our hip hinge pattern or our deadlift pattern. So that's the one where you go into your wide straddle. You're going to try folding at the hip, trying to keep a nice neutral spine. So if there's a wall behind you, your goal is to think about trying to touch the wall with your bum while maintaining ribs stacked with pelvis. So you don't want to arch your back and let your bum go first. Make sure those ribs follow the hips. We're going to do 8. So you're going to hinge as far back as you can and then squeeze your bum to come back up. You can even have your arms out in the letter T. That's 2. Make sure the ribs follow the bum. That's 3. That's 4. Remember, nice flat back. Imagine you have a broomstick or a hockey stick on your back. Should be able to keep that neutral spine the entire time. 2 more. Last one. And back up. We're going to go back into that deadlift position and do some Y's and T's to work on our upper back. I'm going to go on a little bit of an angle so you can see better. So abs are like gently on maybe 40-50%. Feet are parallel. You're going to move your bum back as far as you can, keeping that nice neutral spine. Start with your arms down in front. We're going to go up with the thumbs into the letter Y and come back down. So when you go into your letter Y, you want to keep your chin tucked in, right? You don't want to drop your chin and arch your back. And then your shoulders should stay nice and down and away from your ears. So I'm trying to pull my shoulder blades, the tips of my shoulder blades together, down towards my mid-back as my arms come up. We're going to do 10 together. So let's have everybody get set up. Gentle ab contraction, bum back, knees slightly bent, arms start pointing down towards the floor. Feet are parallel, toes are flat on the floor. Chin tucked in, so imagine you're holding an egg underneath your chin. Bring those arms up into the letter Y, hold, and back down. That's 1. Hold, that's 2. Hold, that's 3. Hold, 4. Thumbs up, 5. 7, 8. Make sure you're still holding that egg. Your ribs are still stacked above your pelvis. We've got one more. Up, hold, and down. Stand back up, give yourself a little break. We're gonna do the same thing, but make the letter T with our arms. So you're gonna be in your deadlift position, arms start straight down. You're gonna also lead with your thumbs, but you're gonna be more in this position versus the Y that we just did. So really try to pull your shoulder blades together this time to meet at your spine instead of down towards your mid to low back. So feet parallel, gentle ab contraction, move your bum as far back as you can. Hands start pointing down towards the floor. We're gonna make the letter T, so bring it up, shoulder blades together, and back down. That's 1, 2. Make sure you're still holding your egg like last time. Shoulders are always staying down and away from our ears. That's 3. That's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Excellent. Stand back up. We're going to do the opposite of what we just did. We're going to arch our backs. So you can either put your hands on your hips and lean back, arching your back. If that feels pretty easy and pretty comfortable, you can do the exact same thing with your arms up overhead. So find a version that's good for you. Remember, our spines are meant to round, arch, rotate, and side bend. So we've done most of our movements throughout our 28 days of movement. So today we're going to work on arching our back in a standing position. In the last few days we've done it from a lying down position. So feet are parallel. Let's start with your hands on your hips. You're just going to lean your hips towards your toes, arch back, and then pull yourself back up. That's 1. We're just going to do 5. And 2. Try to make the letter C with your spine. Make sure you're still breathing. 3. 2 more. 4. Last one. And back. Beautiful. You're going to go down onto your hands and knees. We're going to work on our cat-cow and our side bending. So make sure that your fingers are nice and spread out on the floor. Index finger or first finger is pointing forwards. The rest of your fingers are out to the 45-degree angle. Shoulders are above wrists. Elbow creases are facing each other. You're going to tuck your tailbone in first, round your back, push the floor away, look for the belly button. Take a nice big deep breath in and out. And then rotate in the other direction. Lift the tailbone, think about spreading the chest bone, look for the ceiling, keep those teeth together so you get a nice stretch in the bottom of your neck, and reverse. Tuck the tailbone under, round that back, push the floor away, no shoulder shrug, look for the belly button. This time when you inhale, think about reaching through the floor, and out, and reverse. Tailbone up. You should almost feel a little bit of a stretch through your stomach. Think about spreading your chest bone, look for the ceiling, and come back up into your cat position. So you're rounding your back, pushing the floor away. Make sure you're not shrugging your shoulders. If you're unsure, practice doing both. So shrug, feel what that feels like, and then non-shrug and feel the difference, and then figure out what non-shrugging is. Sometimes we're unsure what position we're in. And reverse. Tailbone up. Think about lengthening your stomach, pulling the chest bones apart, looking up for the ceiling, and then find neutral spine, and you're gonna side bend. So I'm trying to bring my shoulder and my left hip, left shoulder, left hip to meet in the middle, and then coming back. So turn my angle a little bit, go this way. I'm trying to side crunch almost, to side bend. If I go straight, so I always have equal weight. I'm not leaning over to the side. I'm just trying to side bend my spine. So I'm trying to get my shoulder and hip to meet in the middle and come back. Meet in the middle and come back. Always keeping neutral spine. Meet in the middle and come back. Meet in the middle and come back. Excellent. Staying in that hand and knee position, we're gonna do a hip complex. So you're gonna go right foot up in front first. And then you're going to lean as far forwards as you can. Continue working on our ankle. Don't forget to let your knee rock right to left. My heel stays on the ground. Then I'm gonna push both my legs up straight. Try to drop my back heel to the ground. If you're not feeling a stretch, rock those front toes off the floor. Then you're gonna go back down to a full lunge position. Rotate that right hand up to the ceiling. Then try to drop your elbow and hips down towards the floor and come back up. Let's repeat, rotate, and drop. And then the fourth element is to drop that back knee on the floor. If you already feel a stretch in your quad, just hang out here. If you don't, try to grab that back foot. Squeeze the bum. Make sure you're not arching your back. You're really trying to pelvic tilt. Squeeze your bum. Open up the front of that hip. Take a nice big deep breath in and out. And we're going to repeat that complex. So you're going to go knee over toes. Get that knee to go as far past your toes as possible. Heel stays on the ground. Remember, this is the bottom position of your deep squat or your single leg squat or a pistol squat. Really great mobility work. Try to take your hands off, and you can even over pressure on your leg to see if it helps you go a little bit further into that dorsiflexion mobility for your ankle. Hips up, try to straighten both the legs. Remember, you can always pull those front toes off the floor if you need a larger stretch. Take a nice big deep breath in and out. Bring that back leg back into a long lunge position. Rotate right hand up to ceiling. Drop the elbow in the hips and come back up. Once more, rotate and drop and come back up. Put the back knee on the floor. Try to grab the foot. We're gonna hold for 4 deep breaths. Breathe in and out. Breathe in and out. 2 more. Breathe in and out. Breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. Excellent. We're going to switch sides. So we're going to go left leg in front. You're going to go knee over toes first. Really try to go as far past your toes as possible, keeping that heel on the ground. You might feel a little bit of a stretch in your back hip. That's okay, but our focus is on our front ankle. Maybe your knee is limiting you, so just follow. Make sure you tune in with your body. Only go as far into a range of motion as possible without pain. Pop those hips up. Try to straighten the legs. Try to bring your nose to your knee. And if it's still not big enough of a stretch, then feel free to draw those toes up towards the ceiling. Take a nice big deep breath in and out. Bring that back leg back into a deep lunge position or a long lunge position. Rotate left hand up to ceiling. Drop hips and knees down towards the floor. Once more, rotate. Then drop everything down towards the floor and back up. Bring the back knee down on the floor. Grab your foot if you can. If you're really unable to do that, you could also be in a full half kneel position. Pelvic tilt, squeeze your bum, and do your quad stretch from here. Everybody's gonna hold their quad stretch for 1 more deep breath, in through the nose and out through the mouth. And repeat the complex. You're gonna go knee over toes. Remember, you can add extra pressure with putting your arms on that thigh. As long as your heel is on the floor, you are doing good. Feel free to move around in there, get comfortable, exploring different angles, different positions. Your body is more resilient than you probably think. Hips up, try to straighten your legs. Try to bring that nose to your knee. If you're still not feeling a stretch, draw those toes up towards the ceiling. Take some nice big deep breaths in and out. Breathe in and out. Bring that back leg back into a full lunge position. Left hand rotate up to ceiling. Drop your elbow and hips down towards the floor and come back up. Rotate and drop And then bring the back knee down towards the floor, quad stretch. Breathe in and out. 3 more. Breathe in through the nose. Breathe out through the mouth like if you were blowing up a balloon. 2 more. In, out. Breathe in and out. Excellent. If you've been following along every day, we're going to do our wrist work again. If you've always done it from your knees and it's feeling pretty good, you could try taking some weight off your knees and rocking forwards and backwards with more body weight added to your hands. But if your wrists are still quite sensitive as you're doing your wrist work, then please keep your knees on the floor and work on decreasing that sensibility before you go into adding more weight to your hands. So we're gonna go palms on the floor first. I'll demo both versions. You're gonna keep your fingertips pointing forward, spread those fingers out. So our more beginner movement is to keep our knees on the floor, rock as far forwards as we can and back. You're always pushing with your fingertips if that's feeling pretty good. Then you're gonna draw those knees off the floor and do your hand and knee rocking with your knees off the floor. So when you're in that over your hand position, you're adding a lot more body weight to your hands. Remember, if it's painful, not a good place to start for you. We're gonna do 2 more. Excellent. Fingertips at 3 and 9 o'clock. The closer your hands are, the harder it is. You're gonna rock right to left, but really I'm trying to push myself from right to left. I'll put this thing so you guys can see my hands. So I'm pushing myself with my fingertips. Make sure you're always in the middle of your hands and you're not sitting back and only working the outside of your wrist. Or try leaning in different positions. So you can try leaning forwards so you get more of the front of your wrist, then go on to the middle, and then sit back more so you're on the outsides of your wrists. Like I said, explore different angles, different movement. Practice pushing with your fingertips. And then our last one, we're gonna go back of hands on the floor. Try to make some fists. Remember, you could always do one hand at a time if doing both is really too much for you. Making sure our shoulders aren't shrugged. Just going into as much of a fist as possible without bending the elbows. Let's do 3 more. Beautiful. And then to play off of yesterday's theme, we're gonna sit cross-legged. So remember, if you always cross your left leg underneath your right leg, then I'm gonna encourage you to switch it so you practice getting uncomfortable sometimes. And we're gonna do our deep breathing to finish off our session in this position today. So you're just gonna relax your hands, take a deep breath in through your nose. Remember that 3-dimensional breath. Breathe out through your mouth. So when you're breathing in, you're trying to get your ribs to expand out and off to the sides, and then when you exhale, you're letting everything come down, in, and back. If you do have a balloon that's easily accessible to you, I'd recommend you go get one, so you really feel the difference between a nice big deep breath and getting all the right muscles involved as you exhale. Our balloon is a really good way to teach us how to do that without having to think about all the different elements. We're gonna do 2 more. Breathe in for 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Excellent. Great job today, guys. Thanks for tuning in with me again. Join me tomorrow for another live event on this Fitness Lab page. It's going to be at 8:30 right before the Metcon workout. They are always saved, so if that doesn't fit your schedule, you can always go back to the Instagram TV or my personal page. All the videos are also saved on there. And make sure you continue the challenge, 28 days of 20 minutes of movement every day. Bye guys, have a great day.